that it has built, that From Software has crafted, and so yeah, just sit back and relax, and I'm just gonna read through some Dark Souls lore. So, okay, so the first thing I found was a little kind of overview of the world, the story and setting of Dark Souls Remastered, which is the first Dark Souls game, if you are unaware. They remastered it in 2018, so the world of Dark Souls Remastered revolves around the perpetual cycle of the first flame, which defines life and death. As the flame fades, these distinctions blur, leading to an undeath and darkness. The Age of Dark, marked by the extinction of the first flame, brings chaos into the collapse of reality. To prevent this, a powerful soul must link the first flame, or link with the flame, rekindling it and prolonging the Age of Fire. There's a picture of Nito. Throughout history, attempts to bypass this cycle, such as the Witch of Izalith's creation of the Chaos Flame, have failed disastrously. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, sacrificed himself to the first flame, his knights becoming the Black Knights. His followers, including the Knights and the Seath the Scaleless, received fragments of his soul. The primordial serpent ramped in Gwyn's son Gwendolyn, guide humanity, imprisoning the undead in asylums in hopes of finding a chosen one to link the flame and extend the Age of Fire, continuing the endless cycle. So, I got another pretty long set of paragraphs here. The world of Dark Souls is a world of cycles. Kingdoms rise and fall, ages come and go, and even time can end and restart as the flame fades and is renewed. These cycles are linked to the first flame, a mysterious manifestation of life that divides and defines separate states such as heat and cold, or life and death. As the first flame fades, these differences also begin to fade, such as life and death having little distinction, and humans becoming undead. The onset of an Age of Dark, the time when the first flame is fully died, is marked by endless nights, rampant undeath, time, space, and reality breaking down, lands collapsing and converging on one another, people mutating into monsters, darkness covering the world, and the gods losing their power. To avoid this and prolong the Age of Fire, the bearer of a powerful soul must link themselves to the first flame, becoming the fuel for another age. If this is not done, the first flame will eventually die and an Age of Dark will begin. The powerful Lord souls were taken from the first flame, used to defeat the dragons, and then to establish kingdoms. Souls are inextricably and inexplicably linked to the fire. Souls are life, and life is fire. It stands to reason that souls are fire as well. Without the first flame and without souls, there is no life. The bearer of a strong soul, called a Lord, who links themselves to the first flame, is thus rekindling the flames of their own soul, returning life to it. In the end, one could expect that all souls will have returned to the first flame, and in the end, the Age of Fire will have effectively ended anyways. It is inevitable that people try and find a way around this, another way to continue the Age of Fire without making sacrifices, but in every case they fail. In the first Age of Fire, the Witch of Izalith attempted to create a duplicate of the first flame, using her witchcraft and a special soul, but failed catastrophically. Instead of making another first flame, she had created a twisted flame of chaos that produced distortions of life, turning herself and all her daughters into demons. These demons were malevolent and wandered the land. Gwyn gathered up his armies and fought the demons of chaos, eventually driving them back unshackling the bed of chaos to bind them. Knowing that the Age of Fire was nearing its end, under the guidance of the primordial serpent, King Seeker Frampt, Gwyn offered himself to the first flame to stave off the dark. As the flames surged his new life, the knights who followed him were burnt by the flames, and now wander the world as black knights, hollow shells of armor who attack indiscriminately. Before he left to link the first flame, Gwyn gave fragments of his soul to his followers and allies. Ornstein, Goth, Syrian, and Artorius, his 4 strongest knights who fought against the dragons, seized the Pale Drake, who betrayed the dragons and played a crucial role in their war, and was also granted the title of Duke and permission to build a grand archive to conduct his research, and the 4 Knights of New Londo, who ruled a city of undead. In time, another primordial serpent convinced the people of the human kingdom of Ulasal to delve into the darkness of the abyss and to unearth the grave of an ancient human. Whether through their actions or by some other means, the primordial human, Manus, was resurrected and driven to madness, and his wild humanity caused the people of Ulasal to mutate into abominations. Manus, father of the abyss, began to rapidly spread dark and accelerate the growth of the abyss, and would have started an early age of dark had he not been defeated. Even so, the kingdom of Ulasal was lost to the abyss, and eventually forgotten in the modern day. Nothing remains in the present day to mark the passing of this land save for Dusk, the princess of Ulasal. Gwyn's youngest son, Gwyndolin, together with King Seeker Frampt, shepherds the humans by Gwyn's command. Together they built giant asylums to house the countless undead, hoping against hope that one of them would be chosen to defeat the asylum demon and fulfill their destiny. The undead are sent on a quest to ring the bells of awakening, collect the Lord Vessel, slay the bearers of Gwyn's soul, then offer those souls to the Lord Vessel to open the path to the killing of the first flame. In doing so, the unnatural undead are given true death, and living can enjoy another age of fire for 1,000 years, while the undead linked to the first flame will continue to burn alive and aware until someone else comes to take their place. And thus the cycle continues. I just remembered that my window was open, so I'm sorry if you could hear the cars driving by and stuff. Alright, so now we can read about some of the locations of Dark Souls. Lordran, known as the land of the ancient lords, where their kingdoms converge. This is where the game takes place, and it is a dangerous area indeed, containing a great variety of environments and filled with many dangerous creatures. Any undead's resolve will be tested to the fullest here. The undead travel great distances to reach this land, where the first flame waits to be linked. Anor Londo, known as the City of the Gods, and founded by Lord Gwyn, it sits at the top of a mountain, and both the cliff face and its own walls separate it from the outside world. Long ago, invitations were given to the great champions among humans, decided through victories in an area, but this practice has not been kept up for some time. Sen's fortress sits below it, an enormous death trap serving as both gateway and obstacle to Anor Londo. And those who could overcome it were permitted access, but the pathway at the end has since been sealed. Now any undead seeking to enter the city are carried in by bat-winged demons if they can overcome the fortress. The truth of Anor Londo is hidden behind an intricate illusion. When the first flame began to fade, all of the gods abandoned Anor Londo, save for Gwyndolin, Gwyn's youngest son. He now uses his magic to make it look like the city still stands strong, but in reality only and his knights remain, and he is the only true authority left. That's interesting. Lost Izalith. Legendary city to the Witch of Izalith, one of the 4 original lords. She and her daughters founded this city deep underground. The witch and her daughters were originally practitioners of a form of fire sorcery, but this art was lost when the flame of chaos destroyed the city. When the first flame began to fade, the Witch of Izalith tried to reproduce it using her magic and a special soul. However, she failed, and the result was the flame of chaos, a twisted flame that produced distorted life instead, known as the demons. Gwyn and his knights waged a war against these demons and eventually defeated them, sealing the bed of chaos, their source of life, with magic. Some demons now appear in roles that suggest they may work for the gods, either willingly or as captured servants. The creation of the flame of chaos also created pyromancy as a byproduct, and Quilana, the only daughter of Izalith to escape the destruction, was able to develop an entire system of magic to imitate the ancient fire spells. She took only one student, Salaman, from the Great Swamp. In teaching Salaman, she hoped that mankind could learn to harness and control the flames to prevent the same catastrophe that destroyed her own home. Salaman then returned to the Great Swamp to spread the art of pyromancy. I kind of wonder if Salaman is the pyromancy guy that you meet in Dark Souls 3, but I'm not sure what his name is. But he's the guy who will, sell you the pyromancies that you can use. I haven't played a pyromancy build through the game yet, but that would be pretty fun. Alright, the catacombs. An extensive network of tombs and crypts, overseen by Gravelord Nito. All things that die are laid to rest here, and Nito's power of necromancy ensures that they are not disturbed. The area is not completely peaceful, however, and at one point a group of occultists attempted to steal Nito's power and use it to kill the gods. They presumably failed, but weapons and artifacts of their perverse rituals can still be found. Now the necromancer Pinwheel resides in the catacombs, where he slowly siphons away Nito's power for his own ends. I know Pinwheel is kind of a meme because his fight is so easy in the first game. New Londo. A large city of undead, this place was once prosperous and known for the foresight of its leaders. All undead were welcomed here, and it soon became a safe haven for undead that were banished from their homelands. New Londo was a city teeming with culture and life. Recognizing this, Lord Gwyn bestowed on the 4 leaders a fragment of his soul and the rank of king before he left to link the first flame. Later the 4 kings encountered Darkstalker Koth in the Abyss, who offered to teach them the art of life drain. In doing so, the 4 kings and their order of knights were corrupted by the dark, becoming the Dark Wraiths of Koth. The threat they posed to the outside world was so great that the whole city was flooded to contain them, killing everyone inside. The dead still wander as ghosts through the ruins, as the Dark Wraiths themselves survive the flooding even though they are still trapped. Ulasile, an ancient and long-forgotten human kingdom that was once in Lordran. It was a peaceful land of scholars who practiced a now lost form of light-based sorcery. Before its fall, a path to the abyss was unearthed, and they encountered a primordial serpent who convinced them to delve into the depths of the abyss to unearth the grave of the primordial human. When revived, this human named Manus went Calarinus was a powerful sorcerer and master of the dark, and with his magic he guided the abyss to grow, swiftly overtaking the kingdom of Ulasile. Knight Artorius was sent in to defeat Manus and halt the abyss, but he failed and was corrupted by the dark instead. The chosen undead travels back in time to lay Artorius to rest and defeat Manus in his stead. As the player is not naturally from that time, their actions are instead attributed to Artorius, to be known as the Abyss Walker, a legendary knight who traversed the abyss to defeat the Dark Wraiths. Now we have Astora, a human kingdom outside Lordran. It is a land known for its traditional knights, clergy, and nobility. The Way of White originates from here, and the knight and cleric classes available to the player are apparently travelers from this land and start with the Way of White Covenant. The Way of White itself is very proactive and about removing undead, and sponsors great hunts to round them up and forcibly transport them to an asylum on the edge of Lordran. Clerics and knights within the Way of White who become undead are sent to Lordran on a pilgrimage, where they are told to search the catacombs and learn the rite of kindling. At some point in the past, a terrible beast known as the Evil Eye attacked the kingdom of Astora, causing great damage. It was defeated, and its spirit is rumored to be trapped in a magic ring. Katarina, another kingdom outside Lordran that is known for its festivities and drinks, and also for the particular onion-like armor of its knights. Their armor is designed to deflect blows and is actually highly effective, and the knights take great pride in it, but the appearance is still mocked by outsiders. You know, Siegward from Katarina is like my favorite character from Dark Souls 3. He's so cool. I love the onion armor. The Great Swamp, a distant and inhospitable land outside Lordran, unwanted by all save for the people who live there. Not a formal kingdom per se, it is populated by outcasts and exiles from other lands. They share a common interest in the teachings of pyromancy and appear to practice some form of shamanism as well. They are not a proper kingdom, and they have no order of knights, but pyromancy is an easy craft to use and is still very powerful. Travelers from the Great Swamp are often equipped with wrapped clothing that protects them from the dangers of their homeland, and versatile hand axes that serve as both tools and weapons. It is not specified whether undead are welcomed here, but undead from there are often ecstatic for the chance to travel to Lordran and hopefully visit the ancient city of Isilith. Vinheim, a land known for the Dragon's School, a place for study for the system of sorcery formalized by Seath the Scaleless. The school employs its own spies and assassins trained in sound manipulating magic, and through this maintain control of the city and its politics. The sorcerer starting class available to the player originates from Vinheim. Karim. This kingdom is most known for its shady aristocrats and knights and its gods. If anything, it is the polar opposite of Astora. Pardoners of Velka, the rogue goddess, are known to come from here, and it is home to the infamous Arstor of Karim. It is a place known for distinctive weaponry. Karim knights use lightweight parrying daggers in the place of shields, and their shotels cut a sinister profile, and its archers are trained in a unique crossbow specialized for sniping. A very particular form of magic, Ring, originates from here, exceptional at resisting status effects, but rumored to be created through dreadful means. The Purging Stone items are also from Karim, and the fact that they contain the remains of humans raises serious questions about the nature of their production asylum. An asylum for the undead on the edge of Lordran. Undead were corralled here, and in many such places by order of Gwyndolin, the youngest son of Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight. The undead are kept here in hopes that one day one of them will be chosen to be able to defeat the gatekeeper, the fearsome asylum demon, and go on to link the first flame. It is still unclear whether the undead is chosen because they are able to defeat the asylum demon, or that they are able to defeat the asylum demon because they are chosen. It's kind of like a chicken and the egg situation there. So, as far as I understand, in Dark Souls 1, you are a hollow, which means you are like slightly undead, and humanity is a mechanic in the game that you can use to become human. So when you become human, you can do certain things. It's similar to being embered in Dark Souls 3. So humanity is a game mechanic which controls various aspects of the game, both off and online. Effects of humanity in Dark Souls. The amount of humanity held by the player is represented by a number in the top left corner of the HUD, usually referred to by the community as the soft humanity. Holding humanity, that is, having any amount of soft humanity, puts the points at risk. Upon death, your held humanity will be left with your bloodstain in addition to your souls, thus making dying twice in a row more punishing. So this is kind of not so much lore as it is just explaining the game mechanics, so that's not exactly what I was looking for. I was just kind of wondering. Yeah. Let's see. I can read some of the characters that you encounter in the game. So Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, bearer of the strongest Lord Soul, Gwyn's power manifested as great spears of sunlight, which take the form of lightning. He founded the kingdom of Enerlanda, led an army of his silver knights against the dragons, and was father to Guinevere, Gwyndolin, and his disowned firstborn son. Though to be Sen, the ancient god of war, Gwyn was the first to link the first flame, becoming a lord of cinder, and now mindlessly guards it against outside threats and serves as a test of strength for those seeking to link it again. Gwyn's crown is said to have once had some special power, but its power has long since faded and now only exudes a slight warmth by the time the player acquires it. Gwyn and his clan are referred to as gods. Whether this is by Gwyn's own command or simply a title given to them by others for their strength is unknown, though they are still the primary religious figures in many human kingdoms. Gwyn is one of the four who happened upon the Lord Souls at the dawn of the Age of Fire, along with Gravelord Nito, the Witch of Izalith, and the furtive pygmy. So we got Guinevere, Princess of Sunlight, the second daughter of Gwyn and known as the goddess of fertility. The real Guinevere married the flame god Flan and left Enerlanda long ago when the first flame began to fade, but Gwyndolin created an illusion of her to maintain the image of power and stability in the kingdom. This illusion grants successful undead the Lord Vessel and directs them to follow King Sigurfram's advice and fill it with Lord Souls. Undead who ask to join the Princess Guard, Knights of Guinevere who grant aid to fellow undead through the use of her miracles. Ornstein and smell. Gwendolyn, the Dark Sun, youngest son of Gwyn, and the only god who stayed behind in Orlando. Gwendolyn has a deep adoration of the sun and reveres his father, spending his time guarding Gwyn's tomb and orchestrating events alongside King Sigurframpt to delay the Age of Dark. Due to his strong connection to the moon and skill in its magic, he was raised as a daughter. Gwendolyn specializes in a form of sorcery that uses faith instead of intelligence, and he is capable of powerful illusions that are nearly indistinguishable from reality. In this way, he maintains the appearance of a thriving Orlando. In reality, the kingdom has long since been abandoned and experiences an endless night, and Gwendolyn and his Dark Moon Knights are the only ones who remain. Undead may join his company of knights if they wish, although any who dispel the illusion of Guinevere or enter Gwyn's tomb are instead marked as irredeemable sinners and pursued by those same knights. King Sigurframpt. One of the primordial serpents, King Sigurframpt finds undead with the potential to be lords and directs them to the link, the First Flame, though he is not entirely forthwith and fails to mention that anyone who does not will be trapped there, burning for an entire age. Even so, linking the First Flame is necessary to prolong the Age of Fire and prevent an Age of Dark. Frampt will denounce the player and abandon them if they ever join Darkstalker Goth instead. Dragonslayer Ornstein, said to be the captain of Gwyn's four greatest knights. As with the other three, Ornstein was granted a fragment of Gwyn's soul for his service in the war against the dragons. He now guards the illusion of Guinevere, serving as a test of strength to two undead who hope to link the First Flame. His accomplishments against the dragons are legendary, and his spear is said to have once split a boulder in two. He wields a cross spear infused with lightning, which uses leverage to penetrate dragon scales, let alone any normal human. Despite being a major figure in the story and even a boss in the game, not much is known about Ornstein beyond what could very well just be legends and hearsay. Alright. Artorias, the Abyss Walker. Legendary Knight of Gwyn, known for his unbreakable will of steel and unmatched skill with great swords. It is said that Artorias forged a pact with the beasts of the Abyss to fight against the Dark Wraiths, but this is only a fabrication, as his true story was intentionally obscured and eventually forgotten. In reality, Artorias was defeated by the Abyss, and his efforts were carried on by a forgotten champion. This champion eventually defeated Manus, father of the Abyss, successfully stalling the Abyss's growth for some time. Artorias was friends with Sif, the Great Wolf, and the cat Alvina, both of whom now defend his grave from those who hope to find the means to enter the Abyss. Then we have Great Grey Wolf, Sif, a towering wolf, the battle compatriot of Artorias. Legend holds that Artorias once traversed the Abyss to defeat the Dark Wraiths, and his companion Sif now guards the grave to deter anyone who would try to enter the Abyss for their own means. If the player completed the Artorias of the Abyss DLC, Sif will recognize them, but this is still a mandatory fight and can't be avoided. Alvina, another ally of Knight Artorias. Alvina now leads a group of bandits to defend his grave. Any who approach the grave of Artorias in Darkroot Forest are attacked by her covenant, but players can join her covenant to also defend the grave from the intruders and allow free access to it. Oh, I remember Alvina. She kind of looks like the Cheshire Cat. Daughters of Chaos, she fled Isilith with her sister, but was not able to escape before being transformed by the Flame of Chaos. She is now a demon and has taken up residence near one of the two Bells of Awakening with her sister, the Fair Lady. And the Fair Lady is an unnamed Daughter of Chaos and a Firekeeper. She is pale and ill. Along with Quelaag, she fled the lost city of Isilith, but still became a demon. The Fair Lady is afflicted by stillborn eggs. Though unbeknownst to her, she serves as a cradle for tiny humanity sprites. She is tended by her followers and members of her Chaos Servants, Covenant, who bring her the humanity she needs. She is also a Firekeeper and maintains a bonfire and can assist an undead by upgrading their Estus flasks. She does not speak a language known by the player character, and can only be understood if they have the correct magic ring. Members of her covenant who offer her humanity will be taught powerful pyromancies born from the Flame of Chaos, and can access the city of Isilith through a secret entrance. Her true name is unknown, and she isn't given a name even in the game's files. Gravelord Nito. One of the 4 original Lord Soul Bearers, Nito's soul grants power over death. Nito can inflict disease and decay, and animates skeletons to fight for him. Along with the other 4 original lords, he played a major role in defeating the dragons and now holds dominion over an extended system of crypts and tombs where he watches over the dead. Nito leads a covenant, the Gravelord's servants, who use Eyes of Death to spread misfortune and curses, which produces more of the Eyes of Death Nito desires. Not much is known about him beyond this, though at one point a group of occultists tried to take a part of his Lord Soul in an attempt to slay the gods. More recently, the necromancer Pinwheel has been slowly draining Nito's power for his own use. Even despite all of this, Nito's Lord Soul remains strong enough to satiate the Lord Vessel, and he is still a lord in his own right. I got Pinwheel, necromancer of the catacombs. He has been taking power from Nito's soul for his own ends. Pinwheel appears to have 3 heads and 6 arms, and concept arm of him shows 3 separate bodies, either stacked together or fused underneath his robe. Pinwheel himself is not especially powerful and does not accomplish anything of note in the story. His 3 masks are each enchanted with special power and will fortify the body of anyone wearing them. Well, I think I'm gonna stop there. This video's been recording for quite some time, so I think I'll end it there. And yeah, let me know if you